Okay, I just want to do a really quick animation layer. So I just dropped this guy in. I have an animator here. Let's look at the parameters. You don't actually need those. So it's just got two animations, right? Just a basic animator, nothing special. Walking, not walking. Walking, not walking. Simple. Now, there's numerous ways to do this, but what if we play with layers? If I add a layer and I go, let's go back to my folder here, and let's say get a normal idle, and we drop that in. Okay, so now this idle, the arms are up. Okay, so we have a layer, and layers are built in the opposite way you'd think, sort of. You have the base layer and then all the other layers. So it's actually the top priority is actually the lowest on the list. Like the lowest on the list kind of overrides everything above it, I guess you could say, right? So here we have the bottom layer and we have the top layer. So the top layer is sitting there, and the bottom layer, if I increase the weight so this layer actually is doing something, the gun is raised. Just like that. Okay, cool. Right on. I can raise the gun. Now, here's the issue. We're walking. Now, what if I want to raise that gun? But I don't feel like having a raised gun moving animation. I just want to play part of that animation. Now, if I do the weight, this guy completely overrides anything this animation is doing on this entire layer. This entire layer is doing nothing because this layer is doing everything. So let's fix that. So I'll get rid of this one. Now if I right click and go create and go down to avatar mask, I added an extra R because why not? And I can go in here and I can say, let's choose that one. Right? Now, if I go into this thing, I can see that everything is highlighted, and I can turn chunks off. I can turn chunks on. Right? I can say both arms. I could use the head, not the head, use the body. Right? And now, if I hit play, this layer is only going to affect whatever's in that mask that was green, right? So now everything still looks the same there, right? And if we start walking, I raise the gun. Now we're using the arm animation here, but we're actually using the rest of the animations down here. And we have this kind of blend happening, right? Now we could actually go into the arm layer and see, like, we can adjust the body a bit. Of course, anytime you do a change to the animator, it just kind of like totally resets everything. So let's, right? But now that I've turned the body on, and this is really important. It's really important to know this and see this. So this animation of him standing holding the gun is controlling the arms and the chest, while this animation is controlling the head and the legs and the hips. And we have this weird movement, right? Blending animations is a little bit of an art to it, and you can't just, oh well, the shield's up and over here because I picked up a shield and I want this animation to play with this because he's got, you know, a certain sword or something, and they should just blend together perfectly fine. It's not necessarily like that, right? Like the position of the shoulders and this, like, everything's relative, so you can't just blend all the animations together and think that everything's going to work good. So it's important to have higher quality animations. Like I'm using these Kubold animations, and they're actually really nice animations. They're higher end, right? Now if I turn that off, let's just turn on one leg. Hell, right? Make him walk again. Now he's got this weird freaking walk happening. All right, let's turn that off. Turn on the walking. Right. Oh, I turned off the arms. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Right. So now, with him just controlling the arms, it looks a lot better, like much better, right? And we can control this layer in Playmaker, of course, by just let's get mouse button down, and we'll say raise, and we're just going to pop over, and we're going to let's interpolate, because we don't want to just jar the weight up 0 to 1, 0 to 1, right? And we could choose ease in, ease out, or linear. It's not going to matter if we go fast. Well, not going to matter that much, right? So we can go say, let's go to 1, 0 to 1. Now we could use a variable, so we're going from variable to 1 over, say, a half a second, and then there's that, right? And you know what, let's just, for demonstration this isn't the best way to do this, but for demonstration purposes, let's do this. And 0. Now how are we going to alternate between those? We're going to go up here, and this guy's actually going to do a sequence event. 1, 2, 1 and 2. Fire him off, then fire him off, right? So that's just going to give us a little bit of a little more control. Where are we here? And you know what, we interpolated the float, but we never did anything with it. So let's set layer weight, because that's just silly. And it's just as simple as that. Like, we know the layer index is number 1, right? Because that's 0, that's 1, right? And the layer weight's going to be the weight every frame. Copy and paste. Right, and let's use finished on the interpolates. Okay, so let's now take a look. Right, and now we have more of a kind of going up and down, right? So that's the base principle of the layers. It's just, and it's as you add layers, and you can add as many layers as you want. You can have a layer do just the left arm and a layer do just the right arm, but its priority is given, like the lower on the list is like this thing's going to be overriding everything, right? Like if I put down a new layer, just do another quick demonstration here, and this guy's crouch, right? So this guy is now lower than these guys, so he's higher in the, more or less in the hierarchy. So if I can raise and lower, so we raise, you know, we're walking, but if this guy runs now, but he's not using a mask, he ends up just completely taking over both of them, right? because he is the top dog now. He is the king layer. He is at the bottom. Like the lower you go, these things override. So he's now playing, and these ones aren't. Right, and we could build another mask. Right, kind of like what this guy has. Put it in the same place. You know, and we'll say this is just the legs. This might look kind of funny, but hopefully it serves the demonstration here, right? So here is, okay, we're walking, and you know, we've raised the gun, and now we're going to increase this guy's weight. So he is now, you see how he's moving weird, right? So this guy, using the mask, has overridden the legs. The legs aren't moving, but the hips, the chest are still being run by this guy, and the head, where the arms are being run by this guy, right? And if I go over to the lower, and we say, no, it's time, you need to use the chest and the head as well, right? And he's going to be a little more, now he's still going to turn a little bit in the way the animations are there. Those aren't really the best animations to be blending, but hopefully it gets the point across on how that works, right? And then to boot, you also could have, let's see, I've got some additives here, right? Let's add another layer, and let's just do an additive up, right up. Well, let's go like that, and make this one 100% weight, additive, no mask. And all he's going to do now, normally when you do your additives you would have blend trees and stuff, but you see how now he's looking like that, but it's a bit of a different animation because it's not overriding it, it's kind of altering everything underneath of it, right? So I can do the walk, right? We can raise the gun still, or I could even run the crouch, and it's still, this additive is still there, right? So additives can be really great in blend trees and stuff like that, for little things like that. But that's the premises of the animation layers. And if you really want more accuracy and better control, it's a lot more work, but working with Unity's rigging system, which actually uses the same hierarchy of this layering style, but based on IK, it's the rigging system. The rigging system is designed to work with all of this stuff, right? Like it's for the animations, and it's all of this, right? So you have the animations, you have the layers, and then you could also add rigging on top of that, and you could really have full control over your character at that point in time. But it is a lot more work too. So I won't get into that now. So that is the layers. Anyways, we will talk to you later.